Hi everyone, Jen here with my next installment of All Roads, or in this case, All Books Lead to Betsy, with the latest book that I read and absolutely loved, which is The List of Suspicious Things by Jennie Godfrey. I believe this is her second book. And this, I loved it. When I start describing it though, I think you're going to be like, Jen? It's darker than a lot of books I would normally read or recommend on this list. It's set in 1970s Yorkshire. There, Margaret Thatcher has just been elected prime minister. There's a serial killer preying on bad women, and the town is scared. But it's the 70s, and people are still walking around alone. Kids are still walking around alone. The town is very working class, and lots of families, in fact, are quite impoverished. And again, 70s. I mean, I was a 70s kid. I would like to say, gosh, that wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I'm 63. It was a while ago. And a lot of the programs and social services and structures that we have now that we kind of almost take for granted did not exist in the early 70s. And this is also a community of stiff upper lip, and you handle your own problems and you don't ask for help, and just a lot of stuff that we've learned does not serve us that well. So people are poor, people are struggling. There's overt racism. There are some things that are very clearly hate crimes. There's domestic violence. There's alcoholism. We have characters who are neurodivergent, and no one has any idea, what to do about that or what services they need. So there's a darkness in addition to the serial killer, and it's just got some moments of really profound sadness in it. So I just want to be super clear that if you are someone who really just wants happy light reads, a little sweet romance, a cozy mystery, this is not that. It's not cozy. However, it's really, really wonderful. I just loved it. Our main character is a 12-year-old girl named Miv, who is a wonderful, imaginative, observant, just fantastic little girl. And seeing all this stuff, seeing all this darkness through her eyes, somehow I guess made it more palatable to me, because kids are not super analytical about all that stuff. She's not walking around going, ooh, my life, I think it's quite scary. It's just more my life is my life, and I'm coping as best I can. And just watching her resilience and just what an incredibly kind, compassionate, and courageous little girl she is amazing. She has a best friend who she adores. And so when her father suggests that maybe we should move away, maybe we should get away from this scary town and this killer and make a fresh start somewhere, she thinks, oh no, I do not want to be separated from my best friend. And so her solution is to solve the mystery. She and her best friend are going to find the killer, and then problem solved and no more talk of moving. And the way they do this, their tool for solving the mystery, is this list of suspicious things that they start keeping. And they, do some things that we would kind of raise our eyebrows at today. Like, girls, you should not be going to these scary places by yourself. But they're brave, they're determined, they're going to solve the mystery. And you may be saying, okay, what on earth, Betsy-Tacy book did that make you think of, Jennifer? But honestly, it was a no-brainer for me. I saw the connection immediately. It's this one. And the reason, the main reason, there are three main reasons. But the first one is the idea of two people solving a problem. I mean, we've got Miv and Sharon who are going to track down a serial killer. It is not their problem to solve. Other people are going to handle it. They're not really very good at it, and they're not going to solve this problem. Well, that made me think of Betsy and Tacy in this book solving that problem of getting Tib married, finding Tib a husband, which is a problem that lives in their mind. Tib's doing just fine. Tib has one boyfriend who takes her to dances, one boyfriend who takes her to shows. She goes out to restaurants. She has a great job where she's highly valued. She has friends. She's close to her family. Tib is thriving. Tib, frankly, has more money than either of her girlfriends and has no shortage of love in her life. Tib's doing great. And the husbands that Betsy and Tacy are coming up with for her are not the right guys anyway. So that's all really quite funny. And so this bad problem solving is the first thing that made me think of this book. The second thing is, we've got a super bad guy in the list of suspicious things. We've got a serial killer, he's terrible. And there are some really, really bad guys in this book. There's no shortage of potential suspects. Well, on the topic of potential husbands for Tib and really, really bad guys, pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. Rocky. arguably the worst character Maud ever created, and certainly not the right husband for Tib. We have lively discussions sometimes in our monthly book groups about who is Maud's actual worst character. And there will be plenty of people who say, oh, Don Walker is the worst. Oh, Phyllis Brandish is the worst. Some other names will come up. But my friend Lori Zepfel made a really good point once that Don and Phyllis are high school kids. They're 16, 17, 18 years old. Few of us would like to be judged in the totality of who we are and whether we're good people or not by who we were at 16, 17, or 18. Rocky's a grown man. I mean, we don't really know, but I'm going to say he's late 20s, maybe 30 max. But he's a grown man. He has time to know better, and he's just mean. He's mean, belittling, condescending. He puts down Tib in public loudly in front of her friends. It's just inexcusable. He criticizes her family. There's even a suggestion that he might be pressuring her sexually, which is a very adult thing for Maud to be hinting at in one of her books. But they are adults in these books. They're all adults, and they're dealing with very adult problems. And Maud is so skillful about writing about it in a way that's understandable to the young readers who are going to be reading and loving this book. In fact, when we recently polled our BTT club, our youngest members, and they are 5 to 12. We said, what is your favorite book in the whole series? And their third favorite was Betsy's Wedding. I was just kind of astonished. I imagine they skim it, but at the same time, I mean, they're reading it. So bad guys, problem solving, not so great. But then the third thing is that just as the specter of the serial killer, poverty, all the other stuff is so present in this book, the specter of war, a world at war. U.S. isn't in it yet, but there's talk from the very, very beginning. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, Joe Willard and Bob Ray are talking about war and whether they're going to get into it or not when they're supposed to be talking about whether Joe and Betsy can get married. But certainly the countries that Betsy just visited, where she made friends and has people that she dearly loves, they're at war. It's affecting all of them. And at the end of this book, all of our guys, all of our best boys, Joe, Harry, Cab, Sam, Tib's brand new husband, Jack, they're all off to war. And we don't know that they're coming home. Now, in real life, these are all based on real people. And yes, they did come home, thank God. But this is a fiction book. These are fictional characters. And somebody who's reading this just as a story, not knowing they're based on real people, that's how the book ends. They all go off to war. A lot of men died in World War I. It's sad. It's a very, very adult problem. It's a very, very adult ending. Even though the ending of this book are actually the most perfect words, I think, in the whole world. But nonetheless, so I saw those three very, very clear connections, and I think that they are interesting bedfellows. If you do read the list of suspicious things, please let me know what you think of it. As I say, I really loved it. I just couldn't put it down. And then go read Betsy's Wedding to cheer up. All right, that's it from me. See you soon.